good with the fight fans, man? It's Kijana back with some fight predictions this week. UFC 252, Miocic versus Cormier. I'm looking forward to like the last 3 or 4 fights. They all look pretty good for the main card. All the other ones look like they're kind of just thrown together, in my own opinion. But yeah, man, I've been gone for a little bit. I'm back. Missed the last 3 fight prediction cards. I actually did pretty good with my picks last week. Actually, the last few weeks that I didn't post anything, I did pretty well. I went 10 for 12 on my last week's predictions, so came up a little bit of cash. There's only, I think, 10 fights on this card now, if I am correct, because I know the Magomed Ankalaev versus Kutalaba got canceled. I was actually looking forward to watching that just because it was going to be a rematch, and I can't stand a young Kutalaba, honestly. I'm not a fan of that guy at all. I don't really like his antics, none of that shit. Magomed Ankalaev was probably going to win, in my own opinion. I think he was going to dominate him. I was actually going to pick him, but then again, I'm a little biased. I'm not a fan of Kutalaba at all. A lot of people like that guy. I really don't. But anyways, UFC 252, it's right around the corner, man. I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm going to get straight into these. They haven't even really figured out how the prelims or the main card's going to be set up. So I'm going to get straight to TJ Brown versus Danny Chavez. TJ Brown, downtown, 14-7 record, 4 KO/TKO wins, 9 sub wins, 3 KO losses, 3 sub losses. That's a lot of fucking KO losses and sub losses. Lost his last fight to Jordan Griffin by guillotine choke in round 2 back in February. Was on a 4-fight win streak before that. Has 6 arm triangle choke wins, 3 rear naked choke wins, and then he has 2 losses by rear naked choke. But this guy has very slick arm triangle chokes. He likes to take your back and get the rear naked choke as well, if he can. He uses elbows from side control very well. He has very quick jabs. Nasty fucking head kicks, dude. He catches people with his head kicks all the time. Decent double leg takedown. So the guy's pretty well rounded. I'm just not really feeling his record. 14-7 is not a good record. And he's only had 1 fight in the UFC, so that's not really it's not very impressive. I don't know what the UFC is doing lately, but I feel like they're just picking random fucking people up from other fight organizations that should not be in the UFC. I feel like half the UFC's roster shouldn't even be in the UFC, honestly, in my own opinion. But I mean, I guess you got to give people chances and see if they can improve and get better. But I want to see top-notch fucking fighters, dude. I don't want to see these bums off the couch. Like, I don't want to see any of these bums off the couch. Not saying I would do any better, but at the same time, I'm not training. I'm not a fighter. Some of these guys and girls just should not be in the UFC. I'm not saying that about TJ Brown. He only had 1 fight, so we'll see from this next fight how he does versus Danny Chavez. The Colombian Warrior, 10-3 record. That looks like a little bit of a better record. But then again, a lot of the people that he's fought have probably not been, like, I don't know, probably been a lot of bums, honestly. 3 KO/TKO wins, 1 sub loss by 5th round guillotine choke. He's on a 3-fight. First round KO streak. He's making his UFC debut. And there wasn't really much tape to go off of for this guy. I'm probably going to pick TJ Brown in this one, but I feel like you could toss a coin up for that. So yeah, I'm going to pick TJ Brown for that one. Next fight, Herbert Burns versus Daniel Pineda. Herbert Burns, a.k.a. The Blaze, 11-2 record, 1 KO and 8 sub wins, 2 decision losses. So he's never been finished. Herbert Burns is a pretty decent fucking fighter, dude. His brother is great. We all know Gilbert Burns. He's a really good fighter as well. He's on a 5-fight win streak, 4 sub finishes, 1 KO win over Nate Landwehr on his debut with that knee. Just caught him slipping. It was a really good knockout. He beat Evan Dunham in his last fight. That's not really that impressive. It's not really that impressive because Evan Dunham shouldn't even have been there in the first place. He should have already retired. I think Evan Dunham should have retired a while ago. And he beat him by first round rear naked choke. He has 5 rear naked choke wins, 3 triangle arm bar wins. And he's 2-0 in the UFC, so he looked very good so far in the UFC. He's composed, very strategic grappling type of fighter. Decent striking. He's got long arms, 4-inch reach advantage for this fight too, which is good. Herbert Burns is actually a pretty decent prospect. I like him. I like watching him fight too, because he always looks for the finish. He's not one of these grapplers that's just gonna lay on you. He's gonna try to submit you. So he's not afraid to stand there and bang with you too. So, and he also has a 2-inch height advantage for this fight. Daniel Pineda, aka the Pit, 26-13 record. God damn, that's 2-1 ratio. I don't know, man. To Daniel Pineda, he has 8 KO wins, 18 sub wins. That's ridiculous. That's a lot of fucking submission victories. So this guy's dangerous. He's a dangerous person to be on the ground with. 2 KO losses and 6 sub losses. So you know if he has 6 sub losses and 18 sub wins, he's very game on the ground, but he puts himself into bad situations to where he can get submitted as well. And he's going against a very highly decorated submission specialist. Herbert Burns is really good on the ground. You can go back and watch some of his tape before he even got into the UFC, and he's legit, dude. That guy's fucking legit. Last 2 fights back in 2019 were both no contest. Was on a 4-fight win streak before that for Daniel Pineda. Lost twice by rear naked choke, once by triangle choke, 2 knee bar losses. Both to the same fighters, Chaz Skelly. So Daniel Pineda has actually fought some decent opponents. Chaz Skelly's actually good. He's been on kind of like a downward spiral lately, but yeah, no, Chaz Skelly's actually pretty good. But this guy's 34 years old and he's just now making his, or 35 years old and he's just now making his UFC debut. I don't know, man. I don't know. To have 26-13. That's almost 40 fights. That's a lot of fucking fights. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body, and you're just now making it to the UFC, and you're 35 years old, and you're fighting a pretty young top prospect. I can't pick Daniel Pineda just for that specific reason. He's legit on the ground. I'm gonna give it to him on the ground. Like, he actually is pretty decent on the ground. I watched a lot of Daniel Pineda's highlights and some of his fights. I even watched some of the ones that he lost. Dangerous he's really dangerous on the ground with his subs from ground and pound positions, from any positions, from side control, from his back. He's gotten so many fucking submissions. It's kind of ridiculous. He's an explosive fighter, but he makes a lot of mistakes on the ground. Simple ones too, things that Herbert Burns can really capitalize on. So for that reason, I'm going to be picking Herbert Burns. But that should be a decent fight, man. I could actually see that going to decision. But I could also see it being like a late third round, second or third round submission victory. But Daniel Pineda kind of likes to start fast, so we'll see how that goes. Excuse me. Next fight: Felice Herrig versus Vera Jandiroba. Felice Herrig ranked 15. AKA Lil Bulldog. I like that. 14-8 record, 1 KO win, 4 sub wins, 8 decision losses. She's never been finished. Felice Herrig is they call her Lil Bulldog for a reason. She is a dog. She can go the distance with all of her opponents. So, I mean, she's on a 2-fight losing streak to Michelle Waterson and Carolina. Hasn't fought since October 2018. That's a pretty long time to be inactive. Was on a 4-fight win streak before the losses. She's a fast starter, likes to pressure all of her opponents, leans heavily on her wrestling, but has a pretty decent Muay Thai background. She was 23-5 record as a Muay Thai fighter, so that's a really good record. She's a very flat-footed fighter, which is weird to have that like Muay Thai kind of background and that kind of a stance to be like so flat-footed. But I think it's just because she's wrestling. She's more of like a wrestling base. If you see a lot of the wrestlers, most of them are flat-footed. Yeah, but some of them still have good footwork even with the flat-footedness. So it's kind of a weird dynamic. But she didn't really cut the cage off very good versus Michelle Waterson. I rewatched that fight twice. And Michelle Waterson was just sticking and moving, dude, using her kicks to keep out range, and just the whole time Felice Herrig was chasing her, and that's one of her biggest problems. She doesn't know how to cut the cage off that well. So I think if Felice Herrig can just get this fight to the ground and dominate Vera Jandiroba on the ground, she could possibly get a win, probably a decision win. I don't see her finishing Jandiroba. But then again, I mean, Herrig does have 4 submission wins. She only has 1 KO win, but she's a durable fighter. She throws low. She's kind of a low-volume striker as well. She has really good clinch work against the cage, but she tends to gas around the end of the second round. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just because she's getting older, or she's just not that interested in fighting anymore. I mean, we see that she hasn't fought in a little over 2 years. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she had some personal things that she had to deal with. But, yeah, being inactive like that, it's not that good. And she's fighting a chick that's 15. She has a 15-1 record, 12 submission victories. That's a lot. 1 decision loss. She's 1-1 in the UFC. She beat Mallory Martin by second round rear naked choke. Lost by decision on her debut to Carla Esparza, which is not a bad loss to have. A lot of people come up short versus Carla Esparza. She just knows how to really grind you. grind you out and just edge people with those split decisions. Carlos Esparza's got a good amount of split decisions, so for you to have a loss versus Carlos Esparza, it's not a bad loss to have, in my own opinion. And Esparza's a decorated wrestler, so this girl has pretty decent takedowns. She has 7 rear naked choke wins, 1 triangle choke win, 1 arm triangle choke win, 3 armbar wins. She's a strategic grappler. If you fuck up on the ground, dude, she's gonna fucking submit you. Plain and simple. Verna Jandiroba is legit. Felice Herrig, I feel like she's on her way out, but then again, I don't know what she's gonna bring to the table. She's been out of the fight game for a while now, and Jandiroba has a really decent record, so for that reason, I'm going to be picking Verna Jandiroba, man. I feel like she could get the job done. But, I mean, I could see a lot of people picking Felice Herrig. She's ranked 15 for a reason. She's fought pretty much most of the best in that division. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, though. I really don't know. I feel like a lot of the chick fights lately, like, I've been spot on, but barely, basically. Like, barely. Like, a lot of them have been winning by decision, or they completely dominate their opponent within the first round. So it's either one or the other. For me, but a lot of these chick fights, the matchmaking is just, it's hard to pick who's gonna win it because it's just such a close matchup. But this next fight, anyways, getting off that one, this next fight, Chris Daukaus versus Parker Porter. I'm not going to talk too much about this one other than Chris Daukaus is Kyle Daukaus' brother. He's a police officer in Philly, so I mean, this guy, I mean, just being a police officer in Philly alone, that tells me a lot about his character. He has 8-3 record, 7 KO/TKO wins, 2 KO/TKO losses, 1 sub loss. He beat Danny Holmes 1 year ago by head kick round 1. He fights about 1 to 2 times a year. That's not really that active enough for me, man. Especially being, I mean, I guess that's all right being a heavyweight. Actually, a lot of heavyweights don't seem to stay super active other than fucking Nagano or somebody that's just a freakish specimen. But heavyweights tend to get injured really easily. And they take a lot of damage, and those knockouts that they suffer from they're brutal, dude. They're brutal. So, I mean, yeah, man. This guy seems pretty legit. He throws bombs, decent cardio for a heavyweight, very powerful overhand right, and he has really crisp, short left hooks, fast elbows. He fucks people up with his elbows, honestly. But Chris Daukaus, man, he just seems like really frumpy. I don't really know how to explain it. Like, he just doesn't seem like he's in great shape. It's the heavyweight division, so what do you really expect? But at the same time, I expect the heavyweight to be in a little bit better shape. And I don't necessarily mean that they have to look in better shape, but I just mean I don't know, man. Good. I mean, he seemed like he had decent cardio, but just tone up a little bit, dude. Like, just tone up a little bit. Like, I don't know, hit some planks or something, tighten everything up. Because Nagano, man, he ain't playing with any of these heavyweights in this division. I'm not saying any of these guys are ever going to get to fight him, but if you want to be great, that's how you got to train like that guy. He's fighting Parker Porter, 9-5 record, 4 KO/TKO wins, 4 sub wins, 2 KO losses, 2 sub losses. That's an interesting record. Making his UFC debut on a 2-fight win streak. Last loss was by disqualification to Keith Bell back in 2018. Hasn't fought in almost a year. He's heavy-handed, which pretty much all heavyweights are heavy-handed. There's nothing really to be surprised or shocked at. Flat-footed fighter. He sticks really nice jabs out though. Good overhand right. Throws precise left hooks just like his opponent. But one thing I did notice, he leans a lot towards his right. Every time he's blocking, he ducks his head to the right. So he's susceptible to a head kick. He's susceptible to left hooks just like Chris Daukaus throws. I mean, he's susceptible to getting hit with almost anything doing that. And we've seen John Jones point that out for Daniel Cormier when he told him years ago before they even fought, when they were supposed to fight the first time. He told him basically, like, dude, you duck your head. You duck your head in the same position every single time when you're blocking. And what do you know? Like, John Jones, he capitalized on that when they fought, and he hit him with that head kick, rocked him, and then finished him. So, I mean, that's a real problem if you're going to be blocking and you have a tendency to keep going to the same side every time you're blocking and keep throwing your head to the same side every time you're blocking, and you're already flat-footed. So I'm rolling with Chris Daukaus. I feel like he'll get a KO victory in this one. Parker Porter could take him down, possibly get a submission. I don't see it happening. The Daukaus brothers both are in the UFC now, so that's cool, man. Congrats. Next fight, Ashley Yoder versus Liviana Sosa. Ashley Yoder, man, the Spider Monkey. I like her nickname. She's from California. That's cool. That's dope. I always like rolling with the Cali fighters. 7-5 record, 4 sub wins, 5 decision losses. She's never been finished. She's super durable. Lost her last fight to Randa Marcos by split decision. She actually has 4 split decision losses in her pro career. 3 split decisions out of 6 in her amateur career. So this chick goes to split decision a little too much for my liking. It seems like she almost matches the intensity of whatever her opponent is, and she stays there. And then she just gets edged by the judges picking the other fighter. But she never goes over that top, over her peak or over the other fighter's peak. It always just stays at like a matched level, like she's mirroring her opponent. It's kind of weird. That's just what I see though. She was 2-4 as an amateur. That's not a good record at all to have being an amateur. 2-4 is horrible. That's a horrible record to have. She's fought big names like Marcos, Mackenzie Dern, Angela Hill. She's lost to all of them. They were all decent performances. Mackenzie Dern fight was pretty good. That was a split decision loss as well. I think she could have won that fight. But she relies heavily on her grappling, hint the nickname. Decent striking, 4 armbar wins. She's a fast starter. She likes to use her trips. She's got pretty good clinch work. Ashley Yoder's actually a pretty well-rounded fighter, and she moves around a lot in the cage, and it seems like she has decent cardio. So, I mean, this is going to be another interesting fight. This is really a fight whoever wants it the most. It's pretty even, honestly. It's pretty even. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are going to be leaning heavily toward Liviana Sousa, the Brazilian gangster, 13-2 record, way better record, 2 KO wins, 8 sub wins, 2 decision losses. This chick's pretty legit as well. Lost her last fight to Brienne Van Buren. She's 2-1 in the UFC. She beat Sarah Frodo and Alex Chambers. Those are, I don't know. Those aren't the best names to beat, but cool, you got 2 wins. Doesn't have the best cardio. She gassed out heavily versus Van Buren. It was crazy. Ashley Yoder's going to have way better cardio than Sousa. Sousa could definitely piece her up on the feet or take her to the ground and try to submit her, because Ashley Yoder is pretty much her go-to is her arm bars. That's all she really goes for. I don't know if she knows any other submission. She probably does, but it seems like her most comfortable submission to pull off is her arm bars. And that's not going to be something that she's probably going to catch Sousa with. Sousa's a decorated grappler and submission specialist as well, so she's pretty well-rounded. She has 1 guillotine choke win, 1 heel hook win, 2 triangle choke wins, 3 arm bar wins, 1 rear naked choke win. Yeah, I mean, that's like, fuck, dude. She's super versatile on the ground. Liviana Sousa is super versatile on the ground, and Ashley Yoder seems to have that. She's a one-trick pony basically with that arm bar. This is a really tough fight for me to call. I put a question mark by it. I'm leaning towards Liviana Sousa just because Ashley Yoder always loses to split decision. But this could be that one fight where she's the underdog and she ends up winning a split decision just because of her cardio. I could actually see that happening. So I'll pick Ashley Yoder. I'll fuck with Ashley Yoder on this one. Yeah, I'll pick her. I'll regret it later on if she gets fucked up or she ends up getting like KO'd in the first round, her first time ever getting KO'd or some crazy shit like that, or submitted. She's never been finished, so I mean, if she's a super underdog, I'll roll with her. Next fight, Jim Miller versus Vince Pichel. Jim Miller, aka A10, 32-14 record, 4 KO wins, 18 sub wins, 2 KO losses, 3 sub losses. Super durable fighter. Even at the age of 36, he's a world-class BJJ skill. He has world-class BJJ skill set, in my own opinion. I don't know what other people are thinking about that, but I mean, for anybody to have 18 submission victories and have as many fights as he does in the UFC, he's world-class. Dangerous on his back and from top positions. He beat Roosevelt Roberts by armbar in the first round in his last fight. I picked Roosevelt Roberts. People told me to steer clear of that one. They told me to just pick Jim Miller or don't pick the fight at all because Jim Miller was the super underdog. And that was the only one that fucked up my parlay too, actually, was the Jim Miller fight. I thought Roosevelt Roberts was going to get the decision victory or maybe possibly a second or third round TKO. Didn't go my way. Didn't go his way. He's been exchanging wins and losses in his last fights. Has really been looking, I mean, I don't know, man. Jim Miller's been looking pretty fucking good, though. He's exchanging wins and losses, but he's still looking really good, even with the losses that he's taking. Especially, like I said, at that age. Doesn't do well when people consistently and constantly pressure this guy. When they put him against the cage, Jim Miller does not do good. He just doesn't. He has average striking skill set, way more fight experience than Vince Pichel. Vince Pichel from hell. Well, I don't know how the hell you fucking say his shit, but yeah, 12-2 record, 8 KO/TKO wins, 1 KO loss, 1 sub loss. He beat Roosevelt Roberts in his last fight, beat it by unanimous decision. So they're both coming off wins to the same fighter. That's always interesting. Lost to Gregor Gillespie by second round armbar. Averages 4 takedowns per fight. Doesn't have the best takedown defense. Seen him get suplexed viciously back in 2014. I don't know if you guys remember the Rustam Khabilov when he made his debut versus Pichel, and he just fucking dominated this guy. Like, he dominated him to a point where it was like, damn, dude, should Vince fucking retire, bro? Like, he got dominated. But Khabilov he was a top prospect coming into the UFC, but I remember he suplexed him and just teed off on him on the ground. Like, he already kind of like KO'd him with the suplex because he landed on his neck in an awkward way. But hit him with a few shots and Vince was out. So, I mean, that was back in 2014. This guy's 37 years old now. He throws vicious leg kicks and body kicks, nice overhands and uppercuts. Loves to throw knees in the clinch. Vince Pichel's nothing to play with, man. This could go either way, honestly. But since Vince Pichel doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, I'm not saying Jim Miller has really good takedowns in general, but he's really good with his submissions. So I'm going to roll with Jim Miller on this one, man. I think he can get the job done. Pichel's a decent fighter. They're both around the same age. Jim Miller has way more fight experience, and I just feel like he's going to get a submission victory over Pichel. Better grappler. Okay, next fight, Magomed Ankalaev. Oh, that one's not happening, but I was going to pick Magomed just so everybody knows that if this fight ever happens again, I'm rolling with Magomed Ankalaev. He's ranked 14, Ion Cutelaba. I don't like his antics. I don't like him as a person. Never met the guy, but I just don't like him. Yeah, next fight. John Dodson versus Merab Dvalishvili. This is one that I'm really looking forward to. Rank number 12 versus rank number 15. John Dodson, man, 21-11 record. The Magician, man. They call him man. I love that nickname. John Dodson's probably one of my favorite fighters in that division, just because I don't know, he's just a really likable guy. 10 KO/TKO wins, 2 sub wins, 11 decision losses. He's never been finished. He's 35 years old. He's definitely getting up there. I remember when he was on the what is that UFC whatever the UFC show was or whatever, dude. I can't even think of it right now. But I remember when he was on that, he fought all the biggest names in the UFC. KO'd Nathaniel Wood, which was crazy. Nathaniel Wood was beating him the entire fight, and he got the KO. Beautiful performance, man, in my opinion. I was not expecting that. There was a lot of people that actually picked John Dodson in that fight. They thought the speed of John Dodson and just his movement and it's hard to hit this guy, dude. For anybody, it's really hard to hit him. He moves around a lot. It's hard to keep him on the ground. If you're a wrestler, you're probably not going to keep him on the ground. He has a huge win over TJ Dillashaw back in the day. I remember when he KO'd him. John Dodson actually has a lot of power in his hands. He's just so quick, and he throws a lot of he actually throws a lot of volume when he comes into contact with you. If you try to pressure him, he's gonna throw fucking a flurry of punches, 6, 7, 8 combo or something like that, and then get out the way, and then you're gonna be chasing him again. You can't cut this guy off. He's too fucking fast. He's too explosive. He's light on his feet. Great footwork. John Dodson probably has some of the best footwork in the UFC that I've ever seen. And some of the best movement as well. It doesn't matter that he's only 5'3" and that small. He's got some of the best fucking movement, and he's fought in all the best fighters. He lost twice by decision to Demetrius Johnson. I mean, dude, this guy's done it all, really. Other than getting the belt, John Dodson's a legit fighter. Merab Dvalishvili is an up-and-comer. Ranked number 15. Nicknamed the Machine for a reason. Because he just doesn't fucking get tired, dude. He's a machine. He's like the Terminator, dude. He doesn't get tired. He keeps coming after you, keeps pressuring you. He gets hella takedowns. The only thing about Dvalishvili is he doesn't keep his opponents on the ground that often. And he's definitely, if he gets takedowns on John Dodson, which I think he'll probably get a few takedowns. He's got a way bigger body frame than him. I think you can get 3, 4, maybe 5 takedowns on John Dodson, but you're not keeping him to the ground. John Dodson will not stay on the ground, dude. You're not going to keep him on the ground. He's got lower center of gravity. He's short, and he's super explosive. It's hard to keep people like that on the ground. It's not happening. This guy's 29 years old, so he's a few years younger than Dodson. 11-4 record on a 4-fight unanimous decision win streak. This guy is the fucking wrestling king, and he's the fucking cardio king, dude, honestly. And his willpower is through the roof. When he got submitted by Ricky Simone, that was just like, he was tapping his feet against the fucking the canvas or whatever, trying to keep himself awake. That was pure willpower, dude. Like, pure heart. Dvalishvili is a fucking beast. He's a beast, dude. Both these guys are beasts. I'm a fan of both of them. It's hard for me to pick. But I'm going to roll with John Dodson on this one. People are going to think I'm crazy. It all depends on how the judges judge this one, too, man. Because John Dodson could come stick and move the whole fucking fight with Dvalishvili. Dvalishvili could get 5, 6, 7 takedowns in the fight and not do much with it because Dodson's just going to pop back up. And they can give the fight to Dvalishvili because they don't really count that many significant strikes for fucking John Dodson. Whenever he fights, they don't really count that many significant strikes. I don't know why. I mean, most of his fights should damn near be significant. He's so small, dude, and he hits precisely, and he's just quick. I feel like they should count most of those strikes as damn near significant, man. But I don't know. That's just my own opinion. I'm picking John Dodson on that one. I like Merab a lot, though, too. Next fight, Junior Dos Santos versus Jorginho Rosenstruik. Dos Santos, man, Cigano, 21-7 record, 15 KO/TKO wins, 1 sub win, 5 KO losses, 1 sub loss. Man, Junior, I remember when Junior Dos Santos was the champ. I remember when he was fucking everybody up. And now I just look at his record and I see 5 KO losses, and I don't like to see that. He's well-rounded, man, very well-rounded heavyweight. One of the best heavyweights ever in the UFC, in my own opinion. Because of how well-rounded he is. Most heavyweights are pure strikers or they're pure wrestlers. This guy's got it all. He's got submissions. He's got wrestling. He's got wrestling defense. I mean, he's got fucking trips. He's got it all, man. Like, Cigano's really got it all. He's heavy-handed. He's a patient fighter. He's a veteran in the sport. He's on a 2-fight KO losing streak. I know that that's not good. That doesn't look good to Francis Ngannou and Curtis Blades. Both top fucking fighters, top people in the UFC right now. Those guys are a problem to deal with. He's a tough test for anyone. 36 years old. Dos Santos, man, I think he will have the better cardio as well over Jorginho. Jorginho is ranked number 6, so this is cool that they're doing 5 versus 6. I like when they do that. The AKA Biggie Boy, 10-1 record, 9 KO/TKO wins, 1 KO loss to Francis Ngannou, which it seems like everybody has that KO loss on their record now in the heavyweight division, is to Ngannou. It was a vicious KO loss, dude. I don't know what Jorginho thought he was going to be doing. I guess he thought he was just going to walk Francis down, and it didn't work out that way. He got fucking murdered in like 20 seconds or 19 seconds, whatever it was. It was vicious, though. Head bounced against the fucking cage, and it was bad, dude. That was a bad knockout. He looked like he was fucking dead. The way his head was just dangling against the cage and shit, and just wasn't moving. That was a vicious knockout. 4-1 in the UFC. Was losing the fight against Alistair, and then KO'd him with almost damn near a Hail Mary punch. Alistair he put his hands down for a split second, and Jorginho busted that whole fucking lip wide open. So Jorginho, Biggie Boy, he hits hard, man. This guy fucking hits hard. And when I say almost every heavyweight, and every heavyweight is damn near heavy-handed in the UFC, that's true. But some of them are just a little more, I don't know. They're a little more heavy-handed. Something else to it. Something mysterious. Something with those hands, dude. And some of them have really big hands, too, as well. So, I mean, he's a decent kickboxer. This guy needs a lot of work. Doesn't have the best cardio. He's a 1-1-2. He's kind of like a second-round fighter. A 1-round, 2-round fighter. He ain't ready for a 5-round fight. This isn't a 5-round fight. This is only a 3-round fight. But, I mean, honestly, if Dos Santos could edge him with a decision, or he could take him down and fuck him up on the ground. I don't trust Dos Santos' chin. I really don't. This guy's 32 years old, so technically he's kind of in his prime. Still very new. Doesn't have as much fight experience as Cigano. I'm rolling with Junior Dos Santos on this one, purely off of cardio. But Biggie Boy could definitely knock him out in the first round. I could see that happening. Next fucking fight, man. Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean, versus Marlon Vera, man. Sean O'Malley, how can you not like this guy, dude? He's around the same age as me, too. Like, just all that. This new generation of fighters, I like it, man. I really like what I'm seeing. 12-0 record, 8 KO/TKO wins, 1 sub win, 4-0 in the UFC. Very creative fighter, and he's very active. It seems like he's always fighting. You see him all the time. Just think of how many fights he would have had if he wouldn't have that stupid-ass 2-year suspension. They really hindered his career a little bit with that, or at least they tried to. And it was stupid. It was just fucking dumb. I don't like how they do that with fighters. They're getting better with all that testing stuff now. But he could have already had 10 fights in the UFC. 2 years. 2 years they took away from his fucking career. It's crazy. But I mean, it worked out for the best. It all works out for a reason, I guess. Sean O'Malley, I mean, this guy mixes it up so much on his feet. He has a ton to offer with his striking. Not sure how well he's going to do on the ground, if it even goes to the ground, if Vera could get him on the ground or keep him on the ground. Seems to have pretty high fight IQ, decent wrestling defense. He's a tall fighter. He's 3 inches taller than Marlon Vera. He's 5'11". Vera's only 5'8". I think he has a 2-inch reach advantage as well. He's a very unorthodox striker. Throws lots of feints. Switches his stance a lot. Sean O'Malley mixes it up, and it's almost crazy how much he mixes it up. This is like a hybrid fighter. This is literally, like I said, the new generation of fighters. They're just incorporating so much shit. It's you got like your brain has to work fast enough to like know what your opponent's going to be doing at that specific time. It's kind of crazy. Back in the day, people only had to worry about, oh, okay, I'm fighting a wrestler or I'm fighting this. Like, yeah, you still have to worry about striking or getting clipped with something, but Sean O'Malley, he's versatile as fuck, dude, and I'm interested to see if it goes to the ground what he has to offer. He's 2-0 in 2020. Phenomenal footwork. Those were both first round finishes. But he's fought a lot of low-level talent so far. I want to say that. He has fought a lot of low-level talent. Vera will be his biggest test yet. Marlon Vera, dude, a.k.a. Cheeto, 15-6 record, 5 KO wins, 8 sub-wins, 6 decision losses. Never been finished either. Both of these fighters have never been finished. And somebody is getting finished in this fight. Plain and simple. Someone's going to sleep in this one. This isn't going the distance. This is not going the distance at all. I'm going to say that now. Someone's going to probably get put to sleep within the first 2 rounds. These guys their willpower, both these guys' willpower is insane. We've seen that Sean O'Malley when he was hopping on one leg versus Sukumthad. Sukumthad just has horrible fight IQ, and he shouldn't be in the UFC to begin with. I don't know why you're trying to take somebody down that's hopping on one leg. Stupid fucking decision. Could have just kept chopping his leg down, the other one that he was hopping on, and won the fight. But anyways, I'm going off topic. This guy, Marlon Vera, lost his last fight to Song Yadong by unanimous decision. Bullshit decision. Marlon Vera should be a 6-fight win streak, I think. That was a straight robbery. I don't care what anybody has to say about that one. He's 9-14 in the UFC since 2014. And a lot of the decisions he's lost have been very close. But that one, the Song Yadong one, was straight bullshit. And it's not even because I picked Marlon Vera to win. I picked Vera to win because he has a better fight game than Yadong. Yadong gassed out. He dominated him in the 3rd round too. Yeah, Yadong did good in the 1st round, but Marlon Vera, he matched him step by step of the way and did better towards the end of the fight as well. Marlon Vera should have won that fight. This guy's a very active fighter. He's super aggressive style, uses his range very well. But like I said, he has the height and reach disadvantage in this fight. Vicious ground and pound, slick submission game, 3 rear naked choke wins, 2 triangle choke wins, 1 armbar win, 1 triangle armbar win, 1 heel hook, versatile as fuck. Dangerous for anyone on the ground. Nasty clinch work with his leg kicks, and his body kicks are fucking brutal. This guy's a warrior, dude. He's a warrior. I put a question mark by this one because this is such a hard fight for me to call, dude. The only problem for me picking Vera in this fight is he gets hit a lot. Look at his ears compared to O'Malley. Just look at his ears. I know he grapples probably more than O'Malley, and he's been in the fight game for a little bit longer, but look at his ears. I always pay attention to shit like that too, man. Those cauliflower ears don't look good, dude. It looks like he's taking a lot of damage. They're around the same age, but Vera looks older. He looks 10 years older. He's taking a lot of fucking damage. He'll get hit. He'll get hit and then give one off, basically. Sometimes he doesn't have the best fucking head movement at times. He's one of those just warrior barroom brawl type dudes with the kicks and then his punches and shit like that. This guy wants to just fucking take your head off, but he'll risk having brain damage to do it. Sean O'Malley has some of the best movement I've seen in the UFC in a while. I'm rolling with Sean O'Malley, and usually I don't pick against Marlon Vera. I always pick Marlon Vera when he fights, and I always pick Sean O'Malley when he fights. But for this one, I'm picking Sean O'Malley. Marlon Vera, his best chance of winning this one, which he's not going to do. He's going to want to stand and bang. He already said he wants to knock out Sean O'Malley. He doesn't like him. His best chance of winning this fight is going to be taking him down and trying to submit him and working Sean O'Malley to the ground, and basically trying to see how much cardio this kid has. See if he can last on the ground. See what he has to offer on the ground. Nobody knows what he has to offer on the ground because he hasn't been taken down, really. And he hasn't been kept down. So if Vera does that, I could see him winning. But I don't see Vera wanting to do that. I see Vera basically trying to strike with this dude and getting clipped with something. So I'm going to roll with Sean O'Malley on this one. I'm picking him second round KO. Possibly even a first round KO. Which is crazy to say because Vera is so fucking tough, dude. He's never been finished. And he's been in some wars. Next fucking fight, the main event, the champ, Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier, ranked number 1. They're both champs in my book. 22-2 record for Daniel Cormier. Only losses are KOs to Stipe and John Jones. Not bad losses to have, man. Not bad losses to have at all. Yeah, I mean, those are the top dogs, so who cares if you lost to those guys? Those guys are the best. Stipe Miocic, 19-3 record, 15 KO wins, 2 KO losses to DC. And if you can believe this, Stefan Struve back in 2012. I remember that fight. I didn't know who the fuck Stipe was at that time. But he got KO'd by Stefan Struve, Skyscraper. So, yeah, that's our champ right now in the heavyweight division. Somebody that got KO'd by Stefan Struve, dude. It's kind of hard to believe that, considering how far Stipe Miocic has came and how good he is and how well-rounded he is. Both these fighters are super well-rounded. I'm not going to speak too much about this one, even though it's the champion fight, because I already know who I'm picking. I'm rolling with Daniel Cormier. This is going to be his last fight, and he's going to be retiring after this. He's going to want the win. I feel like he's going to strategically beat Stipe Miocic in this fight. He got carried away. He was chasing the knockout in the second fight, and he knows that he was chasing the knockout. So yeah, I'm rolling with Daniel Cormier all the way. I like Stipe Miocic as well, but I feel like Daniel Cormier is just a better fighter. I really do. But that body work Stipe Miocic did in that second fight was insane, dude. Daniel Cormier was beating him, in my own opinion, for the first few rounds, and then Stipe was like, I'm gonna change my game on this dude. Kept hitting him with that liver shot, that body shot, and then put him down, dude. That was a really, really, really good performance by Stipe. And in the first performance with Daniel Cormier, it was just so fast. People were shocked. People were super shocked with that just short left hook, or I think it was a left hook or right hook. I can't remember, but it was a little short shot in that clinch situation, and he knocked his ass out. So I mean, yeah, I'm rolling with Daniel Cormier. Those are my picks, man. I think they added another fight to the card, but I don't see it on the UFC website. I seen it on ShareDog. But yeah, man, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do the giveaway for this fight card since I've been gone for a few weeks, or if I want to do it for the next one. I haven't made up my mind yet. If I decide I want to do it for this one, I'll make another video before Saturday, and you guys could get your picks out to me on Friday after the weigh-ins. I'll let everybody watch the weigh-ins first and get a feel for everything, and then we can do the contest. And I'm not going to show what the giveaway is yet. You guys will just be surprised when whoever wins will send me the address through my email, like we did it the last few times, and then I'll send the gifts out, send the prizes out to the winner. So should be interesting. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. Let me know who you guys are picking. Let me know who your best parlays are. Let me know your I usually do a full parlay, at least one. Usually I'll do like at least a full parlay of all the fighters. And usually I always have at least one fighter that fucks it up, but it's always really big winnings when I do a big parlay. And then I'll do like a 3-person parlay or like a 5-person parlay. I usually win those ones, but that usually makes me break even on my cash. But let me know you guys' 3-person parlays if you guys are doing them, or your 5-person parlays, or your main card picks or your prelim picks. I want to see who everybody's picking. I want to see why you guys are picking them, and then let me know if you guys think I'm wrong on some of these shit. Because, I mean, I want to win some cash. So, yeah, if you guys see some flaws in somebody else's game that I didn't see, drop that fucking comment, man. Drop it. All right, you guys enjoy the fights.